Welcome back to my channel. You are back with Pastor A on Eat, Pray, and Love. And honestly, to my current subscribers, as I say to you guys over and over again, I don't think I thank you enough. Thank you for joining the family. Thank you for spreading the word. And if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You are missing out. But yeah, guys, welcome back and thank you so much. This is a video that I've been wanting to do, has been in my heart, because everywhere I go I am faced with this topic one way or another. So I thought, okay, actually let me just get it out of the way, speak what is currently in my heart, and if it changes, hey, we ought to be changing anyway. I'll come back and tell you guys if I've changed my mind on this certain topic, but this is where I currently stand. So as a widow, right, there's this thing that says that after 6 months of mourning, you know, or a 6-month period of mourning, then you are deemed to be ready. The streets are calling my name. I'm going to the streets, you know, and it's just, you know, that's what is believed, and that is what today's story is all about. 6 months mourning period. Are you ready to move on? And what is currently going on in this girl's life? And I hope that you guys will enjoy it. Welcome back to my channel. So as you guys know, and I think, you know, and most people know that then my husband went to be with the Lord January this year. And from the time I actually got into a working environment and started meeting people, or people started knowing my story, the curiosity has grown. The curiosity has grown. Just curiosity around when do you think you'll be ready, and how long is the mourning period? Did you have to wear black clothes for that period? You know, so what is up, you know? And then you have some other brothers in the streets that I will downright ask. Like, I had someone just ask me, so can I take you out on a date? And I'm like, huh? You know? And other people will do it very discreetly, you know, where they kind of just, you know, trying to fish around ascertaining your readiness, you know. And I'm saying that I think those people are also maybe genuine to a certain degree, you know, because they've got a way or a manner of approach, you know. So that's where I currently am, and that's what I actually want to talk about today. And let me first go back. So I didn't have like a set mourning period where families actually sat down and said, okay, we are giving you this particular time period. I made my own choices. For example, I made my own choice to cut my hair, you know, and it was a very personal choice, you know, just representing that you no longer have a covering, you know. And for me, no one told me. It was not something that was discussed, and it was not something that I had to ask permission on. I just went to the barber and I got my hair cut, as also just a symbol of having to then start afresh, you know. And there's a lot of things when it came to dress code. We didn't have that kind of conversation to say, like, you won't wear, I know some people don't wear pants or whatever. Like, I really was doing this solo, and I was doing this as how I best thought I should, in honor of the memory of my man and what I wanted to set going forward. So I didn't have guidance. It's not like I had people to ask, you know, so I was just winging it, just like the eyeliner. I was just winging it, you know. I do wish that things were different. Maybe if there was a structure in place that someone could follow, maybe that might make things a lot easier. But as I said, I was winging it, and it's okay. It's been really okay in the way that I've chosen to do things. I haven't gotten everything right, but I think I'm okay, you know. So I just really wanted to say and share with you guys that I actually told a friend of mine that day, and I said to her, I don't know if 6 months is sufficient, you know. I don't know if there is such a thing as a mourning period, you know, because for the losses that I have suffered, you mourn for life. you mourn for life, you know. Because at the end of the day, and I think people have really taken this for granted. You're not only mourning a romantic partner, right? You are mourning a life partner, meaning that everything that you did, you're no longer going to do the same way. You won't have a conversation, for example, before choosing where the kids are going to school. You know, you're no longer going to sit and stretch something out and get a second opinion, and, you know, to some extent butt heads on certain things. Literally, you are going to make every decision going forward alone, you know, and you have to just pray and trust that you are making the right decision for yourself, number one, and also for your kids. So I've got 2 kids. One is turning 8 and the one is 3 years old, you know, so they are like my everything, you know, and I constantly have to even think about, I have to constantly think about that. And it was a complete game changer, in a sense that every decision that was pertaining to our kids, where they played, how they played, what kind of toys they played with, are the toys currently age appropriate, are the toys that we are getting into these spaces prompting some kind of learning, because they are at that developmental stage, you know, like. And I am that parent. I am the parent, and I don't know if it is my child psychology background, but I am that parent that is currently aware of the developmental stage that my kids are currently in. So I put a lot of thought into play. I put a lot of thought into, okay, my son is at this particular stage. He needs to start being taught things like consent, you know, so that if anything, he knows, you know. So I'm that parent, and you get to a stage where you no longer have someone to bounce off those ideas to say, oh, I think as when it comes to our son, or I think when it comes to our daughter, you just literally, for me, in these months, I've been writing everything down and journaling everything, and literally bringing it to God and saying, God, these are my plans for my kids. This is what I desire to see. I submit them unto you, you know, and just give me wisdom going forward. And so that changes, you know, that really changes. And it's some things also, like some things I took for granted that we actually spoke about just in a family unit. Now I'm like, God, Bow Wow or Kit Kat for these kids. Like everything is like, you know, everything has changed, and you no longer have that support structure, you know. Like, so my husband and I, we would look at things together, like whether it's schools, you know, would go visit the schools together, would read up on the schools together. Like we did a lot of things, and we made a lot of decisions together. I remember I needed some things done for my company, and I literally forwarded the email to him, and so I'm like, can you please look? Then, you know, then we had a Mac. We both have MacBooks, right? And I don't know how to use my MacBook till today. Like I'm an HP Lenovo damn kind of girl, you know? So that and he knows Macs like the back of, he knew Macs like the back of his hand. So I would literally, like, now I'm stuck and I'm like, Siri, find document named da 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 da. Siri, how do I turn off the green button on this MacBook? It's hilarious. Things that I would have been literally like, can you please come turn off this? Oh, how do I connect this to? So it's been really such a change being alone. And it's not only just on the other parts that people want, that have more curiosity on, but it's really in the smallest of things. And someone says to me, what triggers you? And I said to them, it is literally the smallest of things. It is the smallest of things. And I remember telling my friend the story. I said to her, running out of airtime. Never ran out of airtime. And not running out of airtime like you've got the money to load it. You're running out of airtime and you have no money to load. You have no money to load. And I'm just like, yo, these are new problems. These are new problems, you know? So there's a lot of things that you have to go through, that you have to process. And I haven't been alone for the past 9 years, and so it has really been such a huge, drastic change, you know, such a shock to my system. You know, my dependency, my wife dependency has taken a toll. Like, I knew, okay, I can ask you to do this, or we'll split this bill in half, or okay, the kids party is coming up, I will do the decor, you can do the cake. And I'm not saying that there aren't any people around to offer that, but it's like that wife dependency is no longer there. You know, I can't say, all right, what destination do you want to choose this year, and then I can probably choose. Like, I'm literally flying blind and solo. So I'm literally just making all those decisions. So it has been quite a change, and quite a journey. And that's why I say that I don't prescribe to the 6 months mourning journey, because it kind of then suggests that the mourning period is over. And how do you mourn the husband of your youth that you've been married to for nearly close to a decade? How do you mourn for 6 months? It's just, it doesn't make sense, you know. And so I would then propose a different kind of view, to say that I don't think you'd say a mourning period is over for 6 months. And you know, I don't know how I'd put it. I don't have the right English to say, you know, but one thing that is inevitable, you know, that I've really tried to dodge that kind of bullet, moving on, is inevitable. Finding a new partner, inevitable. Maybe getting married again, inevitable. So there are certain things that, as much as sometimes people will be like, oh, isn't it too early to be talking about that? They are inevitable. And for me, it's like, we'd rather talk about it, as uncomfortable as it may be, maybe with other people, like for my husband's family side, or my family side as well, you know, those topics, they will be spoken about, whether now or whether later. But it's something that we'll all need to, I'm not gonna say all need to sit around the table, but it's just something that people are aware of, but no one has come out. Okay, my mom did. My aunt did. She was like, girl, what's your plan? You know? But she wasn't putting it in a sort of way like I'm putting pressure or anything, but she was just asking me, like, do I think I'm ready? Do I think I want to do it again? Do I want to get married again? And those are the sort of questions that I actually really don't have answers to. I don't want to lie to you. I don't have answers to, will I get married again? Or do I have answers to, will I have kids, more kids? You know, I really don't have the answers. Do I have certain desires? Well, child. Well, and obviously every girl, I think, for me, it's not even a matter of having new desires. It's really picking up from the desires that I had executed getting married at 23, you know, where you're saying to God, God, I desire to have a stable home. I desire to have a husband, you know, I desire to have kids. I desire to have a beautiful home where there is a display of affection, love, respect, you know. So for me, it's not like, oh, you know, it's not new. It's not new. So some people are waiting for the big scoop. Does she, you know, no. It's not new. It's exactly what I did when I was 23, where I was like, I think I'm ready to, you know. So it's nothing new. I'm obviously thinking about it very differently now because I've been married. I'm obviously thinking about it more deeply. Than I did 9 years ago. You know, I'm obviously looking for not something different. I'm looking for more depth than I did at that particular age. I'm a grown woman, you know, and I know myself better now than I did 10 years ago. I know my likes and my dislikes, you know. I'm not about to go on a first date on some like, what is your favorite color, you know. We're going deeper than that, you know. I have the privilege of having been married, and so even there the conversation changes. I am looking at you with three ray or something, or like really extra ray eyes, like on some like, how are your communication skills, what is your long term, and your I'm joking. I'm joking, but I have techniques now that I've acquired and quickly have learned about, where you are able to get to know someone, where you're able to ask the right questions, that you can automatically from one conversation know whether you will be interested or not interested. So I think I'm more cautious, I'm more alert, you know, and having known myself and having evolved the way I have evolved and the way I'm evolving, has really refined the way I look at things. It has refined my desire. Even my desires have changed, you know, they really have changed, and I'm grateful for that. I'm actually welcoming every change that I have noted down, that is shaping and reshaping who Ayanda is becoming. And every single day I'm grateful. Every single day I'm like, yeah, God, this is an entire metamorphosis, and I am loving who I am. I am loving every part of me that is not great. I'm loving every part of me that's falls short. I'm loving every part of me that is not perfect. I'm loving every part of me that needs care. You know, I've realized that the older I get, the more vulnerable I've become, you know, and I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed of that anymore. You know, so with this growth has come a lot of uncovering and learning, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. And so one of the things that really did surprise me, if you guys are looking for a scoop, I've got a type. I've got a type. I've got a type, and I did not know that I have a type, you know, and I shall not disclose what that type is, but I learned that I actually have a type. And I went back to my journal, and the more I look at this description, and the more I write, because I write a lot, I read and I write a lot, and so the more I read up on where my heart is flowing, I'm like, I've got a type. I did not know this. So this is new information to me. And as you can tell, it's exciting as well, you know, whether that type exists. Are you there? It's not my problem, that's God's problem, you know. But it was interesting for me to encounter myself at the level that I've been able to encounter myself. I have not been able to run away from any scar. I've not been able to run away from any trauma. I haven't been able to mask the hurt with business. I haven't been able to say, okay, I'm actually looking after my kid. My kids are not here this year, so whatever I feel, I don't even have anything to distract the feeling with. I have encountered myself head on, you know. I can't run away from the bad attitude. I need to fix it. I can't run away from whatever that is currently coming up and brewing. And I know from the depth of my heart that give me another year and I would have still completely changed. I would have become better, you know, because there are just certain things that I'm learning and I'm continuing to learn, you know. So I had someone ask me like to so I don't call these dates, by the way, like all my friends know I don't call these dates. So I had someone ask me like, okay, would you like to come for dinner? And I'm like, okay, I can do dinner, you know. I went for dinner, and hey, so the funny thing is I've got accountability friends, you know, friends that I'm accountable to, whether I'm gonna go on a day. No, it's not a date, when I'm gonna go to dinner. So I've got accountability friends that some of them help me pick an outfit. Some of them, like, I'm freaking out thinking, oh my gosh, so what did you guys say, what goes on in these things, you know. So they contrasting views are hilarious. So these are friends of mine that I've known for years, you know, and they all have obviously their different concerns about me, you know, and I really appreciated that they honesty as well. So one of my friends is, friend, do not tell him you are a pastor. Do not. You know, guys are gonna run away when they hear that, you know. And then my other friend's like, friend, friend, please just try be normal. Just try be normal. Don't do what you do. I'm like, what is it that I do? She's like, you'd be like, yeah, so that is an interesting point. Paul says, and when I look at how Paul puts it, in comparison with how Solomon puts it, the school of thoughts. I'm like, I don't speak like that. She's like, no, you speak like that. I'm like, I can have a normal, circular, proper conversation. It has been absolutely hilarious. It has been absolutely hilarious, and I've really even in those sessions I've really had a different glimpse of who I am, you know, and everything that I encounter and everything that I go through for me has been such a deep reflection of who I'm becoming, you know. And as I said to you, to say I am grateful will be an understatement, even though sometimes it is through the fire where you meet yourself, you know. But yeah, so I don't know, am I ready to am I ready to move on? I don't think I've got the answer. I don't think the answer is yes or no. And I remember discussing this with someone, and I said to them, it's not a matter of when, it's a matter of position. For me, it's a matter of position. And there are certain things that I've written in my diary just between God and I, where they, for me, will become the biggest indicators of my readiness. So I'll be like, okay, cool. All right, I'm a yanda, you know. And until then, I will not be selfish in being half available for a commitment I will not be able to see through. So there are hardcore indicators that I've put down, and all those indicators don't speak to time. So they don't speak to a 6 months period. They speak to a position, and when that will be, I just do not know. It comes with this change, this metamorphosis that is currently going on now. It could be tomorrow. It could be next year. It could be when I turn 35, you know. I don't know. But one thing that I am certain of is that I'm also very aware of how near or how far I am from those very, very important indicators. And I think it's fair for me as an individual, and it's going to be very fair for the next person who, oh, poor you, would want to be in my life. Would want to be in my life. And those are certain things that I talk about quite freely and quite openly, because I need there to be a very deep level of transparency, especially on where I currently am, so that I'm able to manage my expectations, and I'm also able to manage the next person's expectations, you know. But the game has changed. The game has changed quite a lot, and I've received my fair amount of shock. And I said to my other friend, I am never asking anyone why they're single ever again. I'm never asking anyone why they're single. Because it's no longer like how we were when we were dating. When we were dating, you prayed, man, and God said something. And I'm not saying that we've completely removed prayer out of this, but then you went to my pastor at some point, and you asked my pastor to speak to me, you know. So it was an entire thing, guys. So now it's like, can I take you out for dinner? You know, now you almost have to be like, yo. So the game has changed. I'm not gonna say the principles have changed, but yeah, there's a lot of things that have changed that I will speak about in my next video, where I give you guys an update and some very, very hilarious stories on that front, you know, when I'm ready. But yeah, it's very, very different, and my friends and I laugh about it all the time. about how the brothers in these streets are just not about that life anymore, you know, and it's quite hilarious to encounter that. So I just really wanted to speak about that, to say, I don't prescribe to 6 months mourning. You mourn for life, you know. I was having a different conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and I said to her, I still have a responsibility that I have towards my kids, to preserve the memory of such a great father that they had, you know, and how I do that. And I throw ideas around with her the other day, and she was like, I know, okay, that one could work, or hey, that one will not work, you know. So there's still that where I speak to my kids a lot when I'm home. Like, my kids will bring up pictures of myself and their dad, and they want to talk, especially my son. And my daughter just laughs and she just points, you know, at the pictures. And those are the things that still need to remain open, you know. And I don't know if people have enough maturity to understand that I still need to go through that period, and it will really take a certain level of maturity and some muscle. And so if you're out there and God is speaking to you, my number is, I'm joking. So there's still a lot. It's not pretty. It's some days it's not pretty. So there's still a lot that I need to deal with. I need to still be able to feel like I can honor some memories and some feelings whenever they surface. I still need to afford myself an opportunity to say, oh my gosh, as on this day I feel like this, you know. And if it means that it makes the other person feel like their role or their presence in my life will be suppressed by the memories that I still need to live through, then maybe we are not ready, you know. And that's why I say that it will need to be fair. You know, it will need to be fair. It will need to be fair. So that's why I say this is too much to be put within a certain time frame, because you don't even know what I had to spend 3 months doing, or what I'm currently spending this time doing. You know, you don't know the level of what I'm currently dealing with. And so what is 6 months to such a burden that every single day you are taking something out of it and laying it at the feet of your Father in heaven, and he's helping you carry the load, you know, if he's not taking it out completely from your hands. And so it's a journey, and as I said, it's a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong journey. And whether we are ready to go to the streets, are the streets calling our name, I have no idea. And I always just say to God, you know, you and I have spoken at great lengths about what your daughter desires, and your word then says that you shall fulfill the desires of my heart. And I am not about to try and control the time frame of that blessing. Woo! Come on, somebody. I'm not trying to control the lifetime, I'm not trying to control the process. I'm literally have left it in God's hands, and he will decide who the blessed, consecrated, set apart brother will be. Lalela, you'll be chosen by heaven. I'm joking, guys. So yeah, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this, and I just really wanted to share what is currently in my heart and what I'm currently processing, you know. And if any of y'all have been scared to come up front and be like, girl, what's happening, just watch this video and know, and really think about it before you come and waste my time. You know. So that's where I currently am, and it doesn't get better or easier, you know. Just time flies, and months go by, and the next thing you know, oh my gosh, the year is over. And you know, like, I mean, just time is going, and God, I see God every single day, and I keep on saying to people, I see it's a matter of an everyday sort of thing, you know. And yeah, as I said, a lot of things are inevitable, but do I have the answers? I don't have the answers. I don't know what the plans are, but God knows. God, God knows the type. God knows my heart. God knows what I desire for my kids. God knows what I desire for myself. God knows what I desire for him, if that makes any sense, you know, how I want to praise God going forward, what I want to really stand for and represent. And I do not want that to be put in jeopardy in any form or fashion, you know. And so I would say that I'm not sure what's going to determine the time. I'm not sure who it's going to be, but all I know is that once it happens and when it happens, it will fit God's purpose for my life, for their life, and for the kids' lives, you know. And I can't say I'm looking forward to it. No, when the time comes and when the time is right, the Bible says that there's a purpose and a time for everything under the sun. So don't rush, don't move in haste, you know. Just take your time, take the time that God has allowed you to take, and God will make it happen. Doesn't he say that in Isaiah, when the time is right, God will make it happen? And that's my update, and I hope that you guys did enjoy it. If you have any questions, I hope I'll be able to answer, you know. But yeah, man, we're mourning for life. Rest in peace. You know. And in our hearts and our kids' lives, you know, he's forever be in our hearts, you know. And we'll do the best that we possibly can to keep the memories alive the best way that we can, and also to that which God has in store and that which God has planned. I say, Daddy, when the time is right. Only when the time is right. I don't want my will, your will be done on this earth as it is in heaven. And with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's Eat, Pray, and Love with Pastor A. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.